Hello students, this is exercise number 73 of the legal dictations and these are the text new words and phrases of this exercise. Dogmatic, prudent, contingencies, Lakshmi Devi, constitutionality, tolerance, pilgrimage, vague, affidavit, comb, rigid, interpretation, machinery, diversity, Mumbai, port trust, doctrinaire, legislative. This is the exercise number 73 of the legal dictations on the speed of 80 words per minute for 10 minutes. Start. All that has been said in paragraph 5, 1 and 2 of the writ petition is A. That the respondent herein has been imposing and collecting various kinds of direct and indirect taxes from the petitioner and other citizens of the country. B. That a part of the taxes so collected have been utilized for various purposes, including promotion and maintenance of a particular religion and religious institutions. Thus, it is nowhere mentioned in the writ petition as to what percentage of any particular tax has been utilized for the purpose of the Hajj pilgrimage. The allegation in para 5.2 of the writ petition is very vague. In our opinion, if only a relatively small part of any tax collected is utilized for providing some conveniences or facilities or concessions to any religious denomination, that would not be violative of Article 27 of the Constitution. It is only when a substantial part of the tax is utilized for any particular religion that Article 27 would be violated. As pointed out in para 8, 4, 5 and 8 of the counter affidavit filed on behalf of the central government, the state government incurs some expenditure for the Kumbh Mela, the central government incurs expenditure for facilitating Indian citizens to go on pilgrimage to Mansarovar, etc. Similarly, in para 8.7 of the counter affidavit, it is mentioned that some state governments provide facilities to Hindu and Sikh pilgrims to visit temples and gurudwaras in Pakistan. These are very small expenditures in proportion to the entire tax collected. Moreover, in para 8.3 of the counter affidavit, the central government has stated that it is not averse to the idea of granting support to the pilgrimage conducted by any community. In our opinion, we must not to be too rigid in these matters and must give some free play to the joints of the state machinery. A balanced view has to be taken here, and we cannot say that even if 1 paisa of government money is spent for a particular religion, there will be violation of Article 27. As observed by Mr. Justice Holmes, the celebrated judge of the U.S. Supreme Court in Bain Peanut Company versus Pinson. The interpretation of constitutional principles must not be too literal. We must remember that the machinery of the government would not work if it were not allowed a little play in its joints. Hence, in our opinion, there is no violation of Article 27 of the Constitution. There is also no violation of Articles 14 and 15 because facilities are also given and expenditures incurred by the central and state governments in India for other religions. Thus, there is no discrimination in Transport and Dock Workers Union versus Mumbai Port Trust 2010. This court observed that Article 14 cannot be interpreted in a doctrinaire or dogmatic manner. It is not prudent or pragmatic for the court to insist on absolute equality when there are diverse situations and contingencies, as in the present case. Wide paragraphs 39 and 43. Apart from the above, we have held in Government of Andhra Pradesh versus P. Lakshmi Devi AIR 2008 SC that court should exercise great restraint when deciding the constitutionality of a statute, and every effort should be made to uphold its validity. Parliament has the legislative competence to enact the Hajj Committee Act in view of Entry 20 to List 1 of the 7th Schedule to the Constitution, which states pilgrimages to places outside India. Thus, there is no force in this petition and it is dismissed. Before parting with this case, we would like to mention that India is a country of tremendous diversity, which is due to the fact that it is broadly a country of immigrants like North America, as explained in detail by us in Kailash and others versus State of Maharashtra JT 2011 119, as observed in paragraph 32 of the said decision. Since India is a country of great diversity, it is absolutely essential if we wish to keep our country united to have tolerance and equal respect for all communities and sects. It is due to the wisdom of our founding fathers that we have a constitution which is secular and in character and which caters to the tremendous diversity in our country. It may be mentioned that when India became independent in 1947, there were partition riots in many parts of the subcontinent, and a large number of people were killed, injured, and displaced. Religious passions were inflamed at that time, and when passions are inflamed, it is difficult to keep a cool head. It is the greatness of our founding fathers that they kept a cool head and declared India a secular country.